Hi, we're Richard and Jackie from Early Retirement Wanderlust.
When you think of early retirement, the idea of endless holidays might spring to mind, but is that really what early retirement is all about?
So what we want to do in this video is take you through the two types of breaks that we have, holidays and adventure travel, and just discuss how it shapes our early retirement life. You are going to have to excuse us if in this video we look a little bit tired and jaded, but we have just got back from the most amazing 2-week holiday with our kids and our extended family to Florida, and we wanted to talk to you a little bit about the differences between holidays and travel.
And we talk a lot in many of our campervan travel videos about the fact that we don't see ourselves as being on holiday, that we just see it as being travelling. And in those travels, we live quite a moderate lifestyle and we still try and stick to our weekly budget that we would stick to at home, whereas Florida was definitely a holiday.
So what we want to do in this video is to go through some of the pros and cons of holidays and travel and look at how we try and balance that in our early retired life.
So before we go on any trip, we always have a little bit of a discussion between ourselves. Are we classing this trip as a holiday or are we classing it as a travel adventure? And we do see them as two very different things. The trip to Florida, we classed as a holiday because we knew that we would have a really big blowout. We would be quite extravagant. We would eat out quite a lot. We would drink lots more because we're with all our friends and family. We would treat ourselves and we went shopping a little bit. And we did treat it exactly as we would have done a holiday when we were working. Whereas travel adventures, they're a little bit different.
Yeah, and we choose to spend our time in our early retirement doing a lot of travel adventures. We spend a lot of time on the road because that's what we love. When we were younger, we didn't really get the chance to explore the world, and the world is a huge place with so many adventures waiting for us out there. But by the nature of them being longer trips, we can't be as extravagant as we are when we are on holiday. Not only on the financial side, but probably on the health side as well. We've got to look after our bodies and we've got to live like we would be living at home. So we can't be eating out all the time. We can't be drinking all the time. And we just need to live our life on the road when we are doing our travel adventures.
In reality, we do know that we are early retired and every day is almost like a holiday. We just have lots of time. But just because we are early retired, it doesn't mean that we don't deserve the occasional treat and the occasional holiday.
We have so many reasons why we actually love our adventure travels in early retirement. It affords us the opportunity to get out there and see the world, to find all the new places or the places that we've read about, to meet new people and have a real sort of cultural immersion in the places that we visit. And it just provides us with the challenge and excitement that we want out of our early retirement life.
And we love the fact that when we're on our adventure travels, we set off on a ferry or we go up to Scotland. We have absolutely no idea where we're going to be from day to day. We don't know where we're going to end up by the end of the week. We listen to people on the road, we talk to other travellers, and there isn't particularly an end in sight. When we were in Florida, we had 2 weeks and that was it. Start, finish, we fly home. Whereas we're on our travel adventures, we can be away for 6 or 7 weeks at a time and just really have that quality time to explore, not spending a lot of money, but just find out about what's out there.
And we don't really have too many expectations of our adventure travels as well. We literally do just set off, go to an area and move with how we feel. And that lack of expectation is very, very different to when, as Jackie said, we went on holiday for 2 weeks to Florida with the kids. And we had some pretty set expectations for that.
We also love the fact that if we find somewhere that we really like, then we will stay for an extra week. When we went on our trip to Spain and France last year, we loved it on the Ile de Ré, and what was only going to be 1 or 2 days there ended up being 6 or 7 nights, and it was just a fab little mini holiday within that travel adventure. Some of the benefits and some of the things that we love about our travel adventures is that it's an opportunity for us to still live quite a healthy lifestyle. We are really active. We enjoy challenging ourselves when we're out there. We will go out climbing mountains and cycling and hiking, and we are always out and about doing things. And it's not about just getting out there and eating and drinking a lot. We hardly drink when we're actually on our travel adventures. I do mean alcohol when I say drink. We do drink water and normal drinks.
Thanks for clarifying that. So another real benefit of adventure travel is that we find it so much easier to keep to our very modest budget. When we were on holiday, it was just dead easy to go out for a meal or go out for a coffee or whatever that may be, but all of that costs money, whereas we find that when we are living our adventurous life on the road, we just really like the simple things and we just don't accrue those expenses. And actually at times it can actually be cheaper living on the road than it is when we're living at home. So that's a huge benefit for us when we are trying to eke out our funds in our early retirement.
Yeah, when we're at home, we have a budget of £200 a week that we use to pay for all of our petrol and our food and our wood for the wood burning fire, which is our only source of heat at home. But when we are on our travel adventures, we still take 200 or the equivalent of £200 in whatever currency it is and try and stick to that budget. And we're getting pretty good at doing that. One of the challenges in the way that we choose to do our travel adventures is that it's pretty physically demanding on ourselves. We, I don't think, really know how to slow down sometimes. We're always out and about. We're always walking and climbing mountains. And we do get to the point where we're absolutely shattered sometimes and we don't quite know how to slow down.
Yeah, for instance, when we were in Europe, we were absolutely desperate, almost for a couple of days of rain, because every day we woke up, the weather was good and we sort of felt compelled to get out there and do stuff. So, as I say, over a good few weeks, it means you're absolutely shattered. Another issue is to do with keeping everything on budget, because if we are traveling and we are traveling a lot, if you're not careful, you can accrue so many expenses and it's just too easy to just keep spending. And we haven't got a bottomless pit of cash, so we have to be really mindful of how we spend our money and really quite sort of strategic in terms of our plans for our travel to make sure that we have trips that we can do on a budget and also trips that perhaps might extend the budget a little bit.
And we are getting much better at that. When we first started travelling 6 years ago in the campervan, we were like, right, we're going to go to Europe and we're going to do this for 6 weeks. And we would literally be all over the place. Whereas now we don't have a plan of where we're actually going to go, but we do think about the fact that we're going to go to a region and we will stay in that region so that we're not spending as much on petrol, because that was one of our huge expenses. And when we first went to Europe, we would also have everything planned with military precision about where we were going to stay, and we'd book campsites. We've got much more used to being able to just stay on airs that are either free or cheap, or just to stay in park for the night wild camping spots. So we've found ways around that of keeping it so that we can travel cheaply.
And we've had loads of advice from our YouTube viewers as well in terms of the slow movement travel. And that doesn't come natural to us. And 2 years into early retirement, I still think we've perhaps got that mindset of limited holidays or limited time. So we've got to go, go, go. Whereas we've just got to get more into that mindset of a slower travel. And I don't think that that's necessarily just a problem that's unique to us. I think we've worked for 30 years and we were conditioned to work really, really hard. And then we had holiday periods that absolutely ended, and we tried to squeeze as much as we possibly could into our holidays and our weekends. And in terms of our mindset, perhaps we just need to slow down a bit.
We have got better at that though.
We have.
Obviously, when we were working, we would really desperately look forward to holidays. And don't get us wrong, we now love both our travel adventures and our holidays. And occasionally, we do combine the two. So in January, we had about 6 or 7 weeks where we went skiing in the French Alps. But one of those weeks we definitely classed as a holiday because the children went out. There were 6 of us all together. We hired a really lovely apartment just for 1 week with the kids. And we did have a bit of a blowout. And then we spent the next 6 weeks living very frugally down in the valley on a campsite where we could stick to our normal weekly budget while we were skiing for the rest of the 6 weeks. So we had the best of both worlds just in that one holiday.
And in a similar way, last year we went out to America and we combined that with a couple of weeks with the family, and then we just extended our trip for a couple more weeks, got in a car, had a road trip, and it gave us that sort of travel adventure where we were booking day to day and we weren't really sure of where we were going, and we were in and out of motels, but it gave us that balance of the two. And that's probably the single most thing that we've learned in early retirement, is that you do need a balance between holidays and travel adventures. And the way we find that balance is just really simple, by being more mindful and just really trying to label up our trips as to what we want to get out of the trip. So our Florida trip, for example, was very definitely going to be a holiday mindset, and we had that discussion beforehand, and we both went out and there was no misunderstanding that we were there to just holiday and relax. But then we have trips that have a bit of both, and then the vast majority of our early retirement travels we just label as adventures.
Yep, just adventures where we are exploring new places but living our normal sort of frugal life. We don't go out for meals, we don't go out and drink, we just cook in the van and enjoy what we're doing, seeing different parts of the world. So that's it. When we first retired, we did think that life would just be one big, great holiday, but we very quickly learned that you can't physically and financially keep up that pace, which is why we did go to this definition of, are we on holiday or are we travelling?
And that definition really works for us, and it's just a really simple mindset issue. And we'd love to hear as to whether it resonates with you in your early retirement, or whether we're just unique in our thinking on that. But in our next video, we are actually going to take you along. We have done a little bit of filming when we were on holiday with the kids. We didn't want to intrude too much, but we wanted to take you along on what we class as a family holiday to Florida, and maybe so that you can see how different it is to our normal travel adventures.
So that's it from us. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.